Welcome back to our today's session. Today we are going to discuss document object model traversals. So in traversal we can do with methods and properties we have in documents. If you want to see, go to the console and write down document.getName. So you can get all the methods and properties what we have, get elements by name and tag name by class name. So today we are going to focus get element by class name. So this method in JavaScript, it is used to retrieve a live HTML collection of elements that have a specific class name. So basically this method allows you to select and manipulate element on the web page based on their attributes. So let me write down this example and see how this is going to be work that. First of all, the const elements, and this method I am going to pass a class name because they are expecting class names. So which class names? Which you have already written in a HTML. So we have this HTML file where we have example class name. I am going to pass here, and let's see the result of this method, which is returning elements. So if we'll see, you see like HTML collection 3, because with this class name we have matching 3 elements. So that's why we are getting here. So if we remove from, let me comment this one, then you only be able to see 2. So that means when you are passing this class name, then they are retrieve a live HTML collection of elements that have a specific class names. So if I'll say retrieve a live HTML collection of elements that have a specific class name which have. So one important natures of this get element by class name is you can pass a multiple classes here. So other classes we have here, another class. Let me pass this another class. So if I pass the another class, then you will see you will get all the collections which have this example and another class. So we have only this. So that's why we are getting. So if I'll pass only another class, then we'll get the 2. We got another class and another class we are getting in the 2. You see, like another class we have in p tag as well, line number 12 and line number 13 we have. So that's why we are getting 2. So let me only focus this method by example. The same step we are going to achieve by writing down our own method here. Own method means whatever you have document we are getting. So I am going to write here custom method here, custom get element by class name. So this is going to do the same behavior. Currently it's not defined. So let me firstly define this function which will take a class name as an input. So we are passing class name here, class name. I'm going to make a class names because we can pass a multiple class name from here. So let me initialize an empty array to store the matching elements. So I'm going to write let results equal to empty array, and this later going to return from this custom get element by class name. So I'm going to write down the logic here using the DFS, means depth first strategy using the recursion. So I'm going to write here function, another function search, which will take all the node here. So this search function is going to call from here search, which will pass all the documents. Why all the documents? Because this document contain all the details of this HTML files. So this document, if you see from the explanation doc type HTML till the HTML closing tag. So that's why we are passing this document. So once we pass this document, so check if the current node has a class list or not. How we can check this? Because when you do this like document.classNames, and when you pass this method in a example, let me pass this method, we are able to get, let's store in a result R. So we are getting R. So if you do the R0, then we'll get a first example. So in this first example, dot class list, if we'll do, then we get a first DOM token list. So this means check if the current node has a class list. Why class list? Because it's an element with a class attribute. So this class attributes, that's why I'm going to check if. I'm going to check here if node dot class list node dot class list, then split. Let me make a multiple one as well. Let's say we have a multiple class name here. So for multiple class name, we can split this class names. So class name dot split method we have split. We can split this method by using split method. So we'll get some result. So let target class names will get here. So basically we are splitting the input class string into an array of individual. If we'll get this class name splitted, then we have to just check that if target class names every, so basically every, I'm going to bridge it. If all the target class name are present, so before present we need to be check that all the target class name are present in the current nodes class list or not. So every, which will another functions that accept up to 3 arguments, every method class all predicate function for each element in the array until the predicate return a value which is coercible to the boolean value false or until end of the array as the documentations we have. So let's pass a name, and this name itself node dot class list, what we have contains if name contains name, then just simply push in the results array that node, because we want this node like this. So if all the target class name are present, add the current node to the result array. So we are just pushing here. Later recursively call the search function here. So for recursively calling, I am going to write a for loop where let I equal to 0, I less than node dot children on what node dot children dot length dot I plus plus, and call this search method again here node dot children of I, means recursively call the search function for each child nodes of the current node. You see we are getting h2.example p.example dot another class. If you pass the multiple class, another hyphen class, then you will get the one output, because we have only one matching with this example and another class. If you remove this example, then you will get the two options, because with this another class we have two HTML element here, line number 12 and line number 13. So this approach is very simple what I have written here. So let me explain another time. So what we did, we had just written custom elements by class name, which take a class names as an input and initializing an empty array to store the matching elements, and here defining the recursive function that traverses the DOM tree, and here check if the current node has a class list, that is it's an element with a class attribute, and here we are just splitting the input class name string into an array of individual class names. And here in the line number 16, check if all the target class names are present in the current node's class list. If all the target class names are present, add the current node to the results array. And here we are just calling recursively search function for each child of the current node. And later here just like starting search document by passing, and then here return the result array of the element. So these are today for sessions. If you have any questions, any doubt, just put in comment box, and what the next methods and properties you want see as a custom. Custom means might be this function is not available in the browser, so you are putting your thoughts, your logic, which can do the same method which we have invented. So that's it for today. Thank you.